Hello and welcome back to your South King County real estate update. My name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott, and I am back to deliver your local real estate news for the week. Go ahead and jump right on into it. As I said, this is your South King County real estate update for October 21st, 2022. And first of all, I just want to say a huge thank you for everyone that came out to my home buyer class on Tuesday. It was awesome. We are definitely going to be doing it again, so watch for that date. It'll be coming up, I believe, November. We're trying to confirm at Jules Bay Saloon. So this was a great location. The setup was great. The food was great. So stay tuned. There will be more classes coming. And if you sign up, register on Eventbrite, you get to participate in the food, and the first, I believe, 10 people will get a free beverage, the first 10 people to register. So keep an eye out for that. And Mariners did have a crazy game last Saturday. It went 18 innings. I know this isn't the record, but it sure felt like it. I actually was hosting an open house this day, and I thought my open house would definitely be after the game was over. Maybe I'd catch people coming home from the bar that were watching the game. But no, I finished my open house, ran some errands on the way home, and started to sit down to eat before the game actually ended. So I got to listen in a little bit on the radio, but what a game. Great season, Mariners. Good job. We can't wait till next year. That'll be fun. And happy Blue Fridays. This Sunday, the Hawks will be taking on the Chargers. Last week, we did take away a win against the Cardinals, 19-9. So hopefully we can copy that with the Chargers this coming weekend. And what happened this week? So I'm just going to circle back to my home buyer class. This class that this lender and I taught was so amazing. There are so many little details, little ways that we can help make buying a home way more affordable right now. The main one being the 2-1 buy down. This is the main thing that's being thrown around is an affordability solution. Since interest rates have gone up so much, there are ways to get rates that are still in the fives. I know you may not believe me, but you gotta listen up. So the 2-1 buy down is you pay 2% less than your normal rate would have been for the first year, 1% less for the next year, and then it'll revert back to whatever the rate was that you were locked in at. And there is a cost associated with this option, but because homes are sitting on the market longer, we are getting sellers to contribute these funds to the buyer to buy their rate down for a couple of years. And then within a couple of years, the buyer will be able to refinance and get into a lower rate. And if you refinance ahead of the 2 years, then whatever money is left over that was associated with this fee will get put towards your principal. So I mean, this is awesome. And it's better for the seller as well. Instead of doing a price reduction to sell their home, they get to contribute a certain dollar amount to the buyer to buy down their rate. And the net to the seller ends up being more. So the cost of the buyer is less and the net to the seller is more. It's a win-win. There are not a ton of situations in this industry where it's actually win-win for both sides. Most of the time there's a compromise, but this is one where it actually is win-win for both buyer and seller. So make sure to reach out to a real estate agent, lender, ask more questions if you are considering purchasing a home in the next year or so, and learn about this option. If they don't mention it, please ask. I think it's a great solution to problems on both sides. I'll go ahead and jump back on into this. Fewer Americans apply for jobless benefits this last week. The number of jobless claims did decline by 12,000 applicants during the past week. And this is great for people because they're working, but overall, for the economy in general, the Fed has really been trying to get this inflation under control, and Fed officials have warned that the unemployment rate will likely have to rise as part of their fight against rising prices. So they want to see this number go up before they will reduce the rate hikes that they have been following for the past several months. This was from the National Association of Realtors today. Existing home sales dropped for the 8th straight month and declined 1.5% in September 2022. So there was a report issued from NAR of the existing home sales data that they've collected, and activity in September fell 1.5% from August. September's sales of existing homes declined 23.8% from September 21. The median prices, however, have come up 8.4% from a year ago on a national average. So they have definitely come down from the peak that they were in February, March, April, but we're still on price ahead of where we were a year ago. It just bumped up so much at the beginning of the year that, yes, we've had some decline in prices since then, but we're still ahead of where we were a year ago. Unsold listings fell 2.3% since last month. Inventory levels were down 0.8%. And the current months of inventory for the nation is 3.2 months. So it would take 3.2 months to move the entire supply in the US. Our month supply is less in our area here. But US existing home sales, just running through these graphs really quick, home sales have definitely declined. We had that big bump in January, February, and we have come down in the number of sales ever since then. Median sales price of existing home sales here in the West, you can see that our prices far outweigh the rest of the nation. So we're kind of dragging this national average up, but now it's $595, $400 for the West on average. Inventory, we are up from pre-pandemic levels, but down from what we were in July, August, and a year ago, we were pretty close to the same, but down just ever slightly. For existing home sales and year-over-year percentage change, we have gone down 31% here in the West for the number of home sales. This is also from the National Association of Realtors this week. Housing affordability improved in August 2022 as monthly mortgage payments declined. So housing affordability is a number we've been monitoring for a while. If you'll remember last week, we talked about mortgage rates, and on a monthly average in August, interest rates were lower. They were higher in July, dipped down in August, and then September, they went back up. So even though it's October, we're just now getting this August data. So I would like to put out a prediction that the September housing affordability will be worsened compared to this August number. The monthly mortgage payment decreased by 4.4%, while median family income increased by 0.3%. So this is what happened from July to August. So remember, we were looking at the past when we were looking at these numbers. Compared to 1 year ago, affordability fell in August as the monthly mortgage payment climbed 43.7%, and median family income rose by 3.1%. So you can see that income is definitely not keeping up with mortgage payment. 3% compared to 44% is a pretty big difference. So it's not the greatest scenario, but it is temporary. And for looking at the chart, here's our housing affordability index. The higher the number, the more affordable homes are. So you can see June, we did dip down to our little valley here, and we've risen a little bit in July and August. But I wouldn't be surprised if this ticks back down in September, just because interest rates rose again in September. And here's our average mortgage rate for each month. And we know that August, this will go up in September. For monthly mortgage payments on a national average for the average home, we're looking at about just shy of $1,800 a month in August. Median home prices have dipped down. They did peak in June, but we're down on a national average to just under 400,000. And if we bring it to our showing data, this is for all of North America. You can see we are holding surprisingly steady right now. We have basically throughout the entirety of August held pretty steady on our showing traffic. And that brings us to our local stat minute. We had 694 new listings in King County in the last 7 days, 630 pendings, and 555 sold. So on all three metrics, we did tick up just barely, but pretty much remaining flat from where we were last week. And for our local areas, these are all structured very, very differently. Renton is new listings and price reduced. Those are completely even, and pending and sold are completely even. For Kent, we had way more price reduced than new listings and even more pendings. For Federal Way, we're doing strong on all three of those: new listings, price reduced, and pending. So new listings are coming to the market, but those that are sitting there are definitely reducing their prices. And Auburn, we did have more price reduced than new listings, or new listings and pendings were pretty much on average. So we'll have a consistent inventory there for the next week. Last week, our weekly average mortgage rate was 6.92, but our daily last Friday was 7.16. If we bring it to this week, our weekly average mortgage rate is at 6.94. So pretty much remaining flat there, but did tick up a little bit. But if we look at our daily, we're at 7.32, which is down from yesterday. This week was crazy. The fact that the weekly average mortgage rates is not publishing in the sevens is kind of mystifying to me, because we've been in the sevens for a while. This first box, the black box on this chart, was the big one in the 80s, the big interest rate increase in the 80s that you hear people say, well, 7% is nothing. Back when I bought my first home, it was 18%. So yes, that's true. But this is the only time that we've seen interest rates jump like that. Since then, in the mid 90s, they jumped pretty high. And then we have seen a bigger jump than we have in the mid 90s. These red boxes are the same size, so showing the period of time and the height. It's a big jump. So for those people that are saying, yeah, it was higher back in my day, yes, I agree that that's true, but everything's relative, and our average mortgage rate for the last few decades has been 4 to 5%. And so having a 7% hit is a big shock for people. So there's so much more that I could talk about in this category, but like I said, there are options to get lower rates, have more affordability in a home. Just reach out if you are thinking about buying a home or are just curious if it's even a possibility. I'd love to have a chat with you and hook you up with a lender who can run some numbers for you, and we'll see if it's a possibility. I do have my buyer and seller guides available. So if you are thinking about making a move this year or early next year, please reach out. I would love to send one of these to you. The information is just fantastic. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My phone number and email address are on the screen there. And I would love to have a conversation with you about the real estate market in your area or an area you're interested in moving to. There's just so much we can go over. So let me nerd out with you, and I would love to help you and see what options are available to you. Thank you so much for joining me for your weekly real estate update. South King County Real Estate Update will be back next Friday at 3 p.m. with your local real estate news. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a fantastic week. See you next time.